It's your body, my choice.
Wait a minute. I'm white.
Mainstream leftists love their bodies. They love showing them off, and you'll see the gay pride parades where the guys show off their 2-inch micro penises as they walk around naked in front of children. They're obsessed with what they can or can't do with their bodies, right? The whole my body, my choice. And they demand that you accept whatever they do or think of their body, right? The whole transgender movement of you have to accept my thoughts about me. And just for clarification's sake, the term mainstream leftist is being used for the typical, university-educated Reddit types that have a extreme fixation on empirical evidence and can't really argue very well, but are certainly very loud. And there is certainly a reason why leftists have this obsession, and it is deeply rooted in the underlying framework of leftism and is rooted in their fundamental view of equality as a highest virtue and foundation of society. And to fully understand what I mean by this, you have to understand that the core distinction between the left and right wing is that the left views equality as this end goal for a society, right? It views equality as the supreme good, while the right emphasizes more on hierarchy, generally seeing hierarchy as a necessary part of society and something that is good. And this distinction can clearly show why generally the left is more atheistic than the right, because classical theistic religion implies that there is a hierarchy that you cannot escape out of, that is justified. There is someone above you in the form of God who reigns supreme over you. There is objectivity to everything, and that is obviously opposed to the strict egalitarianism and just this sort of view that nothing is truly objective, right? There is no objective morality. There is no objective beauty. There is no one human nature, and that all humans can be equal. Unequal outcomes are just the result of discrimination, is directly opposed to the religious ideals that humans are fundamentally flawed by their nature, and that there is something greater than them, that there is a divine order, so to speak. And something else that is certainly important to understand the psychology of the left is that many of them do feel like they are undervalued in a capitalistic society. This will tie in more later when I talk about universities, but many people on the left often feel like the reason they are not as successful as others is no fault of their own, but is a flaw in the system itself. Additionally, many of them are actually very materialistic people at heart, and the reason that they do believe these leftist ideals actually does come from a point of envy of those who are more successful, who the leftists may feel do not deserve their success or have leached off others, right? Such as, for example, when they argue that landlords or bankers add no value to society. And to fully understand the context of why leftists think the way they do, it's important to understand where many of them get their equality-focused framework from, and that is from universities and higher education. Higher education is a breeding ground for leftist ideology, and this comes not only from the professors themselves, but also from the students. The students are young. Many of them did not get a scholarship and are in lots of debt now. Many of them may feel as though they were cheated out of a promise of success if they work hard and get good grades in school, particularly among those who are fresh out of college as well. But the professors certainly play a key aspect. Those types of people, the educators, the intellectuals, may feel undervalued in a capitalist society as they don't make much money. So just naturally, they may align themselves more with socialist or communist belief systems that they feel will benefit them more or value them more, as obviously at a bare minimum, in a planned economy, you need more planners, right? That's why you see these hordes of leftist thinkers in comparison to right-wing philosophers. And obviously, since the leftist ideology clashes with our traditional ideas of wealth accumulation, The only thing that you can truly own is, other than personal property, and fundamentally the only thing that you really have is your body. Many young people are very poor, so they feel like they cannot get anything in this system, but they will always have their body. That is something they will always own. And higher education is also a breeding ground for not only leftist ideology, but also degeneracy. There's lots of partying and sex, drugs, all that stuff, and it makes sense for young people. However, when given a leftist ideology, they never have to acknowledge what they are doing is necessarily bad, high time preference, as leftism tells them that there's nothing really immoral about it, right? There's nothing immoral. Promiscuity, right? Leftism promises them that these traditional authorities cannot tell them what to do. These traditional authorities are in fact evil. And not only that, but higher education often promotes critical theory. And this is also a problem with even high schools, right? Your history teacher will put on a video of BBC-owned John Green talking about the evils of white people and colonization, and only giving you that perspective, and then you have to write an essay about why whites are so bad. And in practice, critical theory just means white people are bad, the West is bad, Christianity is bad, and minorities in the third world are really good, and hierarchy is bad, but being left-wing and gay is really cool and freaking sweet and awesome. But not only does leftism sort of attract these types of people, but you have to remember that many of them are, degenerate first, right? Because a lot of these more Reddit types, a lot of them are porn addicted, right? The leftism just gives them a justification for it, right? And with women in particular, they are told that, in fact, motherhood is oppressive. It is a patriarchy structure of the evil West, and abortions are good, and you should get as many abortions as you want and have sex with everybody, because who cares? It's your body, right? When in reality, motherhood is the dignity of femininity, the ultimate dignity of the female sex. But when you understand how higher education creates these people and allows them to use leftism as a justification for their degeneracy, you will ultimately realize that they are just grown children, right? They have found an ideology that allows them to justify their adolescent rage against the traditional authorities of the day. And that is all it is. All those people walking around naked at gay pride parades are essentially just throwing temper tantrums, right? Just, in effect, saying, "Screw you, man. I do what I want." They are revolting against an authority that doesn't really exist. I mean, they love to be the underdog. Everyone loves to be the underdog when their ideology is promoted by every elite and authority figure in the world, almost. But in conclusion, a complex intellectualism for many modern leftists in critical theory can act as a veil for them to engage with their carnal desires and do whatever they please without restraint. And that is why they are obsessed with their bodies. Because within their worldview, their body is the only thing that they really have. And many of these people are permanent children who don't want to be told what to do. That's about it for this video. If you liked it, like and subscribe. Comment if you agree or disagree.